let's move over to night 2. By the way, apologies for the voice and stuff. Just a little stuffed up here today. But not going to miss a WrestleMania preview for the world. Although it does seem like I get this way every year around WrestleMania, which is entirely unfair. All right, night 2 kicks off with Seth Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre. I said before in the night 1 preview that I do think that Seth Rollins drops the championship here. He has been a workhorse with this title. He's been obviously banged up, which makes my suggestion on night 1 that he then feuds with Gunther a little bit. Makes that remarkably unfair, but the guy's a workhorse. But either way, I do think Drew McIntyre ends up getting his moment and winning the title. And I think it's short-lived. I am officially going to predict that Damian Priest cashes in Money in the Bank after, Drew gets in CM Punk's face. Punk somehow manages, I don't know if he can hit the GTS with the bum arm with Drew McIntyre being as huge as he is. But I wonder if there's, an Anaconda Vice or something that CM Punk can hit that knocks Drew down. And Damian Priest comes in, cashes in, and leaves WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion. That is that's how I could see it going down. I just think Punk is there for a reason, right? Then we go to the WWE Women's Championship as Io Sky defends against Bayley. Everyone is saying this is going to be Bayley's WrestleMania moment, and she is going to be the one, the last of the horsewomen, to finally get her moment at WrestleMania. And that's probably how it's going to go. I just think Io has been such a good champion. And if you've watched any of my wrestling shows, you know I have a very soft spot for Io. I think she is actually the best women's performer on the planet right now, and just one of the top performers overall. And so I love this new attitude. I love this new character. I love how Damage Control has been working. I kind of want to see it continue. Does that make me a bad person that I want Bayley to lose? Oops, sorry. Does that make me a bad person that I want Bayley to lose here at WrestleMania? Does that make me bad? Because if it does, I guess I'm bad because I want Io to win. But I do think Bayley is going to retain. Up next, LA Knight against AJ Styles. As I've taped this, these guys had a brawl at WWE World, or the All Access thing that they do now. So this has been a fairly well-built mid-card feud, I think. The reason this one is so interesting to me is I don't want to say neither guy can afford a loss, but both guys need a win here. AJ Styles coming back off of injury, he's just kind of felt like a bit in the background a little bit. LA Knight was huge and had his moment. It feels like that moment is kind of passing a little bit. And so he needs something, I think, to rejuvenate him. So this is, for both of these guys in the, kayfabe world or whatever, both these guys kind of need this one. And so I think this makes it really interesting. I do think LA Knight ends up getting the win, and we start to build him back into the main event picture a little bit. Although an AJ Styles win could set him up to feud with, spoiler alert here, but I think Cody's winning. Could set him up to feud with Cody coming out of WrestleMania, because Cody's going to need something. Right? So that's kind of how I view it. U.S. title on the line. Logan Paul defending against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. I would be stunned if Randy Orton wins this. Kevin Owens might, but I think Logan Paul kind of retains here. Not kind of retains. He absolutely retains here. I love Kevin Owens. Honestly, I think KO and Randy Orton both should be in the world title picture, not the United States picture. But I think that this is going to be a time where Logan Paul keeps that belt and keeps rolling. Now, if he's going to be taking an extended break here, which you could absolutely see, then I would not be shocked then if Kevin Owens ends up getting the championship and setting up something for whenever Logan Paul does end up coming back. Philadelphia street fight. It'll be the Pride of Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits taking on the Final Testament of AOP and Karrion Kross. This is another one where both groups could really use a win. I feel like Final Testament needs it maybe a little bit more. I feel like Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits are much more established right now than Karrion Kross and AOP are. And so because of that, I feel like you really have an opportunity here to kind of give the Final Testament a win that they need. I think there's potential in this group. I am one of like 8 people who actually believes there's something there with Karrion Kross. And I have always thought there was something there with AOP. So I actually wouldn't mind seeing this group get over in this particular contest and start to build them up. Like have AO like I like we said, the SmackDown Tag Team division could be a lot of fun, and both these teams I think are going to factor into it heavily. But I think AOP and Karrion Kross need this one a little bit more than Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. And that brings us to our main event of the weekend. For the undisputed Universal Championship, Roman Reigns defends against Cody Rhodes. I think, again, this one is going to be very Attitude Era-ish. I think there's going to be a lot of just everything in this. It's going to be wild hardcore match. You're going to have a lot of bloodline involvement. And like I said before, I think John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin will be out here as well, kind of protecting Cody's back. And then eventually it will all break down. And like I said, I think it's going to look like the an episode of Monday Night Raw from 1998, and there's just shit going on everywhere. Solo's been like literally murdered in the crowd, and the Rock and Stone Cold are firing back and forth, and John Cena has just put Jimmy Uso through a flaming table. Like, it's going to be just absolute chaos. And then we will finally center on Cody against Roman, and they both will have kicked out of seemingly insurmountable things at various different points. And eventually, I think Cody wins clean. I know there are some people thinking that Rock will turn on Roman, and that will lead to Cody getting his moment and his win. I think, and maybe this is more hope. I hope Cody wins this as clean as can be with what I just described. But I do think that Cody does eventually get, I said eventually a lot, does get the pinfall in this bout. I think that's how it has to be. Like, Roman winning this is beyond my comprehension, quite honestly. But it was last year too. But I just, it is now time for Cody to get that, finish the story, and kind of move on. I think it's a good final chapter for the bloodline as well. And then I think post-match, you get The Rock turning on Roman. Like, Roman's like, I can't believe you let this happen, something, facepalm, and Rock bottom, people's elbow, setting up next year's WrestleMania for Rock and Roman. And then you have Rock shaking Cody's hand to go off the air. That is how I picture this whole thing going down. Maybe it'll be Roman spear 1, 2, 3 in like 45 seconds. But I think that this will be Cody finishing the story clean as it should be, and then Rock and Roman spin off into their own thing at some point, probably SummerSlam, and then, or around SummerSlam, and then into WrestleMania as well.